Something calls to me. Can't you hear it? Something stirs here. Can't you see it?
With the finale next week, let's explore where we're headed with this story for the series and beyond.
This is the way. This is the way.
Okay, let's get into it. I can't give Dave Filoni enough praise for crafting a story that not only dives deep into Star Wars and delivers for the fans, but also adds elements from great literature and mythology. One element we've seen in this story is a connection with William Shakespeare's great work, Macbeth. With the title for Part 2, Toil and Trouble, being directly lifted from the witches in Macbeth, a few of the story elements we see correlate to what is happening in Ahsoka. And if you're not familiar with Macbeth, I'll give you a quick rundown. There's 3 witches that tell Macbeth, a Scottish general, that he'll be king. With the encouragement of his wife, Macbeth kills the current king and takes his place, which ends up causing him to spiral down and kill even more people due to his paranoia, and eventually Macbeth gets killed himself. So the main theme of this in Macbeth is the idea that ambition unchecked by moral constraints will lead to destruction and chaos. So what I find interesting is how Baylan Skoll is our window as an audience to similar themes that have been played out in Star Wars.
As you get older, look at history. You realize it's all inevitable. Fall of the Jedi, rise of the Empire. It repeats again and again and again.
With the empires rising and falling, the cycles of light and dark, and his direct quote to Shin Hati as his final lesson.
One parting lesson, Shin. Impatience for victory will guarantee defeat.
While I don't think Ahsoka will be a direct interpretation of Macbeth, it certainly is using elements from it. Thrawn seems to be our Macbeth archetype, who listens to 3 witches and has been given insight into what will lead him into being the heir to the Empire. Ultimately, this power and ambition will lead to his downfall, since we obviously do not see his character by the time of the sequel trilogy. At the same time, Baylan is seeking power, and at this point we don't exactly know what that power is, but it's definitely not to rule the galaxy, that much is clear. My thoughts are that it will have to do with the balance of the Force in some way or form, and in the last episode we see a direct image of Ahsoka the White going up against Baylan, who is more in the dark, so we see this light and dark element coming together. There's got to be something there about balance. And with both of these characters playing major roles in shaping this series and the story, maybe this is the will of the Force coming together with Ahsoka and Baylan Skoll. And ultimately Ahsoka will be the one to understand this as the titular character of the series. Baylan has been one of the most intriguing characters to me, and he's a hard man to figure out. He's not your standard villain, and we might find by the end of this series that Baylan Skoll was the ultimate antagonist. Seeing as the actions he has taken during the show have set the pieces in motion, even Thrawn, the master tactician, being several steps ahead of our heroes, has been thrown off by the actions of Baylan Skoll. This might be a situation where he's ultimately working towards the greater good, not for the light side or for the dark side, but given into the will of the Force and letting that lead him. And he shows that he doesn't really hate the Jedi, nor does he want to truly destroy Ahsoka. He just needs these characters to play their parts as he seeks to fulfill whatever mission he's on. Now, there are several theories about what that might be. Perhaps the son from Mortis, Abeloth, or even the Zepho. Whatever it might be at the end of the day, Ahsoka will be the outlier that is able to stop Baylan, or perhaps Baylan means for Ahsoka to eventually take his place and create a new Jedi Order, a Jedi Order more in balance with the Force. Only time will tell, but this story is fascinating to dive into to understand the deeper meanings of it. I'm enjoying the ride so far, and I hope you are as well. So what do you think we will see in the finale, and what other elements have you picked up in the series? Let me know in the comments. So thanks for joining me today on Fatherly Fandom, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And from our families to yours, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.